Hello. My name is Isabella. I'm a candidate for the IB diploma, and this is my CAS project, which I am calling Bringing Back the Ignite Club to My High School Campus. And this is a project which has taken place over the course of 2022 and 2023. So let's get started. This is what my project my presentation will be consisting of. We'll have my course of action, my process, my outcomes, and my reflection. So first, we are going to start with course of action. But before that, we're going to talk about my project aim. So the aim of my project was to bring back the Ignite Club, which was a club that previously existed at my school, but was kind of fading away and was getting less and less members. And this year, had I not brought the club back, it would have disappeared from our campus because nobody else was taking interest in it. And as I'll later state in this presentation, last year when I was in the Ignite Club, there were only 2 other members, and they were both seniors who were graduating. So I took it upon myself to bring back the club because I wanted to give girls a space to speak out about issues regarding gender in our school, politics, and issues in our community and in the world, and in ways that are relevant to our own experiences. And our mission statement is to guide young women to become involved in politics, positions of leadership, and affairs regarding the growth of their community. This was a mission statement that our officers came up with for our own school, and Ignite National, which is the organization that this is a chapter of, has their own mission statement, which we will get to later in this presentation. But yeah, we wanted to give girls practice and experience in politics and leadership and involve them in it earlier so that later on in life they will have these experiences and apply it whenever we're all grown up. Next slide. Project objectives. First, restarting the club. Second, performing club duties. And 3, observing the positive results and seeing how much we've grown. So in order to restart the club, we had to create a platform. And to perform club duties, we need to, of course, have meetings, attend political events, do community work, and hold officer meetings, and do more to ensure that the club is working effectively. And then, once we do these things, we can observe positive results, such as girls being involved in politics and wanting to take up positions of leadership, and giving them a space to talk about things, and seeing them become more and more involved and aware of things that are happening in our world. 1. Why? Why does a high school need an Ignite Club? Where this idea originated. So, as I said before, the Ignite Club is a organization that already exists in the U.S., but high schools and colleges have the ability to open up their own chapter. So, as I was saying, my journey with the Ignite Club began the start of my junior year. And at the time, my school's Ignite chapter only had 3 members, and we would meet twice a month as officers during the school day. And we would never meet outside of school or attend any events or do anything like after 4 p.m. And since my junior year, I wanted to open the Ignite Club to all grade levels and do more with it. One reason was to create a space for women across different backgrounds to speak about their experiences as females. And I also wanted the club to be more hands-on. I wanted us to attend events and do more things for our community. So I think by adapting a regular club's approach instead of like having it be a thing where we met during the school day and never after that, we were able to spread Ignite's mission even more. Part 2, the process. How this project was enacted. The planning phase. Of course, before we starting Ignite, there was a lot that had to happen first. And the first steps we had taken was, one, we had to like ask around and see who was actually interested in being a part of this club. And having impromptu officers, obviously before we elected them, we had people who were involved in the planning from the start and were super interested and wanted to lead the club. We found a sponsor who was our sponsor from last year. And we also had to get the club approved by our school's admin. And we created advertising posters and we recruited members. All this did take a while because, we needed to stir up some buzz and create interest. And some other steps included finding a space for our club to have meetings and a personal mission for our organization. These were important because by finding a space, we were able to know that we would be able to have meetings in an area and just be secure in that. And by having a mission, we were able to have something that we were going to work towards instead of being directionless. And once we did all this, we had a strong foundation to build our club on. And this planning phase took place around September of last year. Execution. So after planning and recruitment took place, we were ready to have meetings. We held meetings at least once a month, and in these meetings, we would discuss topics such as politics, voting, human rights, and how we would help our local female communities. We had activities such as officer elections and creating holiday messages for women in the Dallas Women's Shelter. We also sent letters to lawmakers and government officials regarding laws we disagreed with. In every meeting, we would invite members to local events such as community input meetings and female empowerment sessions. Currently, the club has over 30 active members, and every meeting, we make sure to do something new and use our time productively and always give opportunities for the girls involved to make change in their community. So here are some highlights. One thing that we did was attend a political event, and in this case, it was Beto O'Rourke's campaign speaking event. So this happened around October, and one of the things that motivated me to bring the Ignite Club back was the election coming up, and politics was a very hot topic in Texas, and I thought it was very important since we were creating a new generation of voters. A lot of us were turning 18 that we attended these types of events so we could understand what people in politics wanted to potentially change or do in our country. Not in our country, but in our state. And we wanted girls to be aware, not just know faces, but actually know what these people wanted to do. And by doing this, not only did we have a really cool time, but we learned and listened to Beto speak and what issues he was passionate about. And as you can see, we were in the crowd. We got to shake his hand and meet him and talk to him. And it was a great experience for everyone involved. Another highlight was organizing a voter registration drive at our school. This was something we especially wanted to do. Luckily, we knew one of our former teachers who was involved in a political campaign, and she had the resources to do a voter registration drive for young people. So our sponsor invited her to our school, and she helped seniors register to vote, and it was great. And we got some free stuff from it, like stickers and pins. And it was just a really great experience to watch our classmates sign up and register to vote. And that was for a lot of us, that was our first time registering to vote. And it was great seeing how that ended up in people voting for the election in November, because a lot of them wouldn't have done it because they didn't know how to register to vote. So that was a really great experience. Another highlight was sending letters to lawmakers and political figures about issues we were passionate about. So we did this several times in our meetings. Some of these issues included abortion rights and voting, and protesting against bills. So we would do this through several ways. One common way that we would do this was through the Ignite website, which would have templates where we would send these letters through. And it was a great experience because many of us got responses, such as the one that I have on the right, which was from Senator Roger Williams. Basically, him being like, thank you for voicing your opinion, but I disagree with you. But even though many of us received messages like that, it's good to voice our thoughts and let these people in power know that we disagree with them, or we do agree with them. And that was also a really great experience. This slide is about how Ignite is an ongoing thing. So we hope that the Ignite Club will hopefully never end once the seniors graduate, and that there's definitely more to come in months before school ends. In upcoming weeks, we hope to sponsor a Women's History Month dress-up day for our school, and hearing from political speakers in our upcoming meetings. This was something we've been trying to do for a while. One skill I have developed was reaching out to people and finding people who'd be interested. And many of these people are strangers and people I don't know, but had to get to know. And another hope that we have is that this club will be one of my legacies at the school, and that the new club leaders we elect will continue the club once we're gone. So yeah, Ignite is not supposed to be a one-time thing. It's supposed to be something that will be cyclical and will end up repeating itself. So I'm glad I got to continue it and grow the club. It's been wonderful. Part 3, learning outcomes. The first learning outcome is strengthening growth, and this was fulfilled through applying knowledge we gained from being involved in other clubs to lead our own club. 2, challenge and skills. This was achieved by overcoming obstacles such as member recruitment and engagement. 3, initiative and planning, which was obtained by envisioning a goal and following through on our planning. 4, commitment and perseverance. This one especially because even as very busy seniors, we always wanted to sometimes neglect our responsibilities for this club, but we still honored our commitments and managed to run meetings and club events. And 5, collaboration skills. Being a leader of a club involves collaborating with adults, students across grade levels, other officers, people in the club, and people you've never spoken to before, such as what I was saying earlier, when we had to try and find speakers to come to the meetings. IB learning traits. 1, communicator. Communicator is important because as a leader of a club, you have to communicate with so many people. You have to communicate with your peers, adults, people you've never spoken to before, people that you'd like to have as speakers, etc., etc. And you just have to be prepared for communicating in many different ways, online, in person. Another trait we have is principled, as I was saying before. In order to run this club, we really had to be principled because there were many times where we wanted to cancel meetings or leave stuff for later. But in order to have a successful club, you need to be efficient in running it. Risk taker. This is a trait that I think is very relevant because whenever I was restarting this club, I was unsure that it would even be something that would be successful or if many people would join or not. But I took a risk and it ended up going well. Thinker. So, in a club like this, thinking is very important because you need to be aware of what is going on around you in the news and politically. And of course, when you're having discussions in these meetings about these things, you have to think of different things such as intersectionality and other people's beliefs and how this applies or how these events can apply to you. Open-minded. In a political club, you need to be open-minded to people's different ways of thinking and just be willing to listen to other people's perspectives. And caring. Caring is important because when you're dealing with other people and being a leader, you need to care for your members so they feel appreciated, and also listen to people who don't feel listened to. Part 4, ways I grew and ways I can still grow. So being a leader of a club allowed me to grow through leadership skills, especially because this is something that I've been developing over the course of my high school experience, but I still don't think I'm the best at. And although my peers consider me charismatic, I don't think I'm the best at giving instruction to large groups, and being a leader of this club allowed me to practice this. It also allowed me to grow my organizing skills as I planned events, activities, and meetings. I was able to learn the importance of female representation in not just politics, but in countless roles women are underrepresented in. This project taught me that I can still grow in perseverance and engagement, as there were moments where club time could have been used more productively. Yeah. To connect back to being a stressed senior, there definitely were times where we could have been doing stuff in meetings that was more relevant to our club's mission. But since we were busy and stressed, we kind of didn't put time into creating thoughtful activities. But that's something that I hope we can improve on. But yeah, that leads me to the end of this presentation.